welcome to episode 34 of the Addydae Designs video blog. In case you don't remember, I'm Deanne. I'm recording this in Canberra, Australia, where I live. I am a crochet designer, sometimes knitter, and lover of all things yarny. This video blog is primarily about all of the above, what I'm designing, what I'm making, and things related to that, so I hope you enjoy. It has been a while since my last podcast. This feels like confession time again. It's been 5 months. I checked. You guys, 5 months. I never planned for it to be that long. This year has not exactly gone to plan, let's just say. Yeah, it's kicked me in the butt a little. I had all these big plans for how much extra time I was going to have to do stuff like this, based on the fact that the girls' homeschooling arrangements had changed, which I had hoped freed me up with a bit more time. It has, but there have been some other things going on in the background aside from that, yeah, sort of recording a video blog and getting some designs out just kind of got pushed to the side a little bit. So I do apologize. I've really missed catching up with you. Yeah, just had a few things going on. It's all good. It's all good. A couple of things were related to my health. I had to have some tests done just to make sure everything was okay. Without going into much detail, because you guys don't want to know that. One of them I am going to mention because I think it's important. This year I had my first mammogram. Now in Australia, I don't know what it's like in other countries. In Australia, your first free mammogram, scheduled and covered by, I think it's covered by Medicare, is when you turn 50. Mine was an unscheduled mammogram because I found a lump in my breast. So yeah, I had to get that checked. It's all good. It turned out it wasn't anything to worry about, so rest assured it's okay. But I think it's worth putting out the reminder that it's important to check these things. Ladies, check your girls, all right? Yeah, it was a little scary, but definitely worth investigating and making sure that everything was okay. So don't forget to check. Hey, it's a serious thing. Yeah, don't push. What am I trying to get out? Don't ignore it. Get it checked. Okay, that's all I'm going to say on that. So everything is okay. But yeah, this kind of stuff just took a bit of a backseat for a little while. But here I am today, so I'm not going to delay any longer. I have lots to show you. Let's get started, shall we? I have FOs. This one, the first one, okay, backtrack. I'm getting a little excited. Probably shouldn't have had that second coffee. Because it has been so long since I recorded last, I have had not one but 2 designs released since my last video recording. One of which, or the first of which, was Bantam, which is this design here. Now, I showed you this in my last video. It was unfinished, I think, and definitely unblocked. So you can see now how beautiful it turned out after blocking. I'm really, really happy with this one. This was my first prototype. This was the one, I'll hold it up a bit closer, that I double stranded with the really fine mohair, just to give it that, I don't know, bit of, I sort of wanted it, I think I mentioned it in the other video, just to sort of soften all the colours as they were striped through and things like that. I really, really am happy with how it turned out, and my edges turned out nice and straight, which I was really happy about, especially because in this sample, at the beginning, down this end, I wasn't really happy with the shaping on the edge, but so it improved as I went along, and then blocking just made it perfect on the edge. So I'm really, really happy with it. As you are probably aware, this is not the sample pictured on the pattern. I don't actually have that at the moment. I will talk about where that is later. It's a little bit exciting, but I'll talk about why I don't have that sample, but I'll insert some photos. I'm sure you've seen it before, but I'll pop some photos in of the actual proper sample for the design, and I'll pop them in here now for you. So there you go, that's my bantam wrap. Perfect for small amounts of yarn. The scarf size can use up to 20 grams, or uses about 20 grams per colour. So you can see I alternated the main colour in these, but you can just use a whole string of different colours. You don't have to have a main colour and then separate contrast colours. You can just change for each one. And the scarf size uses 20 grams of finger and weight yarn. The medium size uses 25 grams, and the wrap size, the largest size, uses roughly about 33 grams, 33 grams for that size for each colour repeat. So perfect for leftovers, perfect for minis, yeah, and you can really go nuts with colour. Actually, speaking of colours and not having a main colour, one of my lovely testers gave me her sample to photograph, and it doesn't have a main colour, so it just goes one colour to the next, to the next, to the next, and changes all the way through. And so I'll insert some photos of that version as well, because it's beautiful. So I'll pop those photos in here for you. Isn't that gorgeous? Makes me want to make another one just looking at those pictures. So that's my bantam wrap, which I hope you like. I'm just having issues with hair in my eyes here. Hair in eyes, hair in lip gloss, standard operating procedure when I start video recording. So that was design number 1. Design number 2 has only been out for a couple of weeks. Super duper excited to have another sock pattern available for you. So this is the Rundle sock design. So I'm just trying to keep my face out of the shot. This one has post stitches that go all the way back and front of the leg and then up the front of the foot. The other features of this one are a gusset, and then you've got your heel turn and heel flap, which is really good for giving you that extra depth in this part of the sock, the instep, which can be the issue with crochet socks, because if you make them to fit this part of your foot, they can be a little tight across here. So having that gusset shaping makes a big difference to getting a really nice fitting sock. And the other thing I really like, if I do say so myself, no, how I should phrase that, the other thing I'm really happy with is I've included a different toe on this design to my previous sock designs. The Segway socks and the baseline socks used I think it's a wedge toe. This one is a round toe, which you might not be able to tell the difference so much while it's on the blocker, but it doesn't have that sort of flat, I don't know how to explain it, that flat beginning. Hang on, I've got another sample here. This was a sample I made at the beginning of the year, and I haven't done the second sock. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that I was all set to get this second sock started when we flew down to Melbourne a few weeks ago, and I forgot the contrast colour. So I couldn't even start because it's a toe-up sock. Couldn't believe it. Anyway, never mind. It turned out we were super busy and it was unlikely that I would have gotten much done anyway. But I'll just slide this off the blocker and show you. Oh, sorry about that noise. Now, here is, okay, there's the wedge toe. Come on, camera, you can do it. There we go. Okay, so it starts with a little flat bit at the very beginning, and then you increase on the sides, which is all good, but it can tend to twist a little when you're wearing them, and just the nature of crochet stitches in the round, as you know, tend to have a slight slant, which I have compensated for in the instructions for this, but it still tends to have that tendency to twist. But with a round toe, it is exactly as it sounds. Come on, camera. You can do it. There we go. Okay, you see how it doesn't have that flat beginning. It literally starts with into a circle. I did the magic, I want to say magic loop. Is it magic loop? That's what you do with knitting needles. I wrote it in my pattern, I promise. Anyway, where you actually pull this, you don't start with 4 chain and then join them together, because I find that leaves a hole. This one you actually work into a loop and then pull the loop itself tight to really close the hole so your toe is properly closed. Anyway, the link to how to do that is in the pattern. So never fear. But it gives you this lovely shape to the toe, and because there's no obvious side increases, because the increases are evenly spaced all around the circumference of the toe, it doesn't look twisted ever, because there are no sides to twist or to show that it's twisted. So I think this could be my go-to sock toe forever. I just love how it turned out. I'm really, really, really happy with it. So there are a few design elements in this sock that I've included because I just really, really wanted that nice finish to your sock. Because, I mean, we put all that hard work into making something like this, and you don't want anything to look untidy. So the number of times I frogged this thing and went back and changed it and tried again, you don't want to know. But I'm really happy with the result. The other nice feature I like that's part of this design, I'm sorry to be raving on about this one, but I thought you guys would like to know, especially, you know, you want to know that you're getting good value for money in your pattern as well. I also included a photo tutorial on how to do an invisible finish. So I don't know, if you have a look at that, you would find it virtually impossible to know where you finished and where you started, because the top edge of that finishing round for both colours is invisible. Like it's continuous, it looks continuous, and I included a photo tutorial in the pattern to show you how to do that. I also love how doing it like this gives you that double cuff look. Now my camera's, there we go. So it looks like you've got a double thickness. You haven't, it's just, you know, a feature. Yeah, so if you like the look of that, you can also learn how to do that, and that is a technique that you can apply to any crochet worked in the round. So I was thinking for my next hat design, if I'm doing a hat from the crown down to the brim, I'm definitely going to use that invisible finish so that you don't have an obvious end to the final round on the band of your hat, because, you know, that little bump that tends to, you know, where you fasten off your yarn, even if you really hide it well, when you weave your ends in and everything, it bugs me when you can see it. You know me, OCD, I just don't like stuff like that. So there you go, I've included this technique for you, and you can apply it to other things that you work in the round too. So they are my only 2 finished objects that I can show you. This was a whip. Well, it's a half finished object because clearly it's a finished sock, and as you know, I haven't started the second one. But yeah, I hope to get that done soon. Didn't get it finished for this winter, clearly. Even that said, okay, I forgot to give you the weather update. I know, terrible, I'm out of practice. We've had really hot weather lately. Today is the second day of summer here in Australia, but it has been quite hot prior to now. Mind you, that said, today the temperature's taken a nosedive and it's been raining, which is so good because it's been really, really, really hot and dry. Everything is just brown. The flight I took to Melbourne a couple of weeks ago, I was quite shocked actually. After taking off out of Canberra and flying over Canberra, you can really see how brown everything is. It's a bit of a worry, and if you've been watching any of the news, you'll know that virtually half of New South Wales, Australia, has been impacted by bushfires. My family up on the mid-north coast, they had to evacuate their home. It's fine, it didn't end up affecting their area, but yeah, they were evacuated from where they live, and that was on the outskirts of Coffs Harbour. It wasn't even rural property. It did they weren't too far from a reserve, which was the concern, but yeah, pretty scary stuff. Everyone's fine, no one was impacted, but very serious, and lots of people, of course, did lose their homes, and a few people died, so very, very serious here. But yeah, and now, today here, it's gone all cloudy and dark, so I apologise if the lighting's not ideal, but that's what can I do? Also, if you hear a lot of noise going on outside, it's crazy windy. That has been the one consistent thing here in Canberra for like months. It has been windy for months. It's driving me a little bit batty, but anyway, I'm not going to complain. We haven't had bushfires burning down our houses here, so why am I complaining about the windfall? Another half-finished object, so you can probably guess it's another sock, I have to show you is this one, which I think is super cute. I'm really happy with it. This is a sock that I'm making for my nephew. Long-time viewers may remember a couple of years ago when my nephew was visiting, he and our two girls painted sock blanks. And out of those sock blanks, I made socks for them. So he already had one pair, and this is what I made from the second half of the same sock blank. So this is my baseline socks pattern, and I've just used the main colour, which he didn't paint. It was just one I had in stash. And then the multicolour you see that changes through here, that is from the sock blank that he painted. I just hope that by the time I finish these, that he will still fit into them. You know what it's like, teenage boys grow like weeds. So this is entirely possible that I've taken too long and this won't fit him anymore. But I'm sure we'll find someone that will fit them, and I'll just have to make another pair to make up for it. So yeah, another half-finished object there. I'm really, really happy. I love the way the colours change through there. It's very cute. Actually, it's made me think of using a, you know how you get those self-patterning sock yarns, of working, that's not my tail, freckles, hi. Self-patterning sock yarns with a solid in the baseline socks, just to see how it'll look striped together. I think it'd be quite fun. So there you go, another one down. I told you I had a lot to show you. So I said I didn't have any other finished objects, but I do. They were just buried under the pile of stuff to show you. I told you I had a lot of stuff here to show you. I made up a couple of hats over the winter. There's no pattern for these, I just made them up. This was using some probably worsted weight yarn I had left here at home from deep stash. I can't even think of what it's called. Anyway, you can find it in my projects page on Ravelry. As you know, I put everything on there. But yeah, just made this hat up. It's got a cute ribbed look to it. There we go. And just a faux ribbed, like what do you call that? Applied edging. Do you call that an applied edging? So made that up. I even made the pom-pom. I had a bit of a play with some faux fur that we got. It's not the roundest pom-pom. I need to practice a little. I'm going to experiment with a few different shapes. This one was cut just using a saucer, as in cup and saucer, so a small plate. But it creates a lot of bulk at the bottom when you're sort of folding a circle back into itself to just sew up the bottom. So I wasn't really happy about that. So I'm going to have a bit of a play with some shapes, and I'll let you know how it goes. So that'll be just an experiment. But I do love the faux fur. I mean, how cute is that? So that was one hat. Then I had a bit more of a play with similar design for for Imogen. Remember that yarn I got from B and Bell Studio from the Celebration of Wool at the Bus Depot Markets? This is the hat I made for Imogen in it. The little speckles on that are coming up a lot more pronounced on the video than they are in real life, but this is a colour that she picked out herself, and it has been suitably freckleized by our little furry friend. But yeah, I did it a bit more slouchy at the crown because that's how she likes it, and I did a different band. So yeah, so it doesn't look the greatest on, but it looks really nice. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look the greatest off a head, but when it's worn, it sits really nicely. I've got some photos of Imogen wearing the hat, so I'll pop those in here for you to have a look what it looks like when it's being worn. So there you go, here's my second hat. Imogen wore it everywhere this winter. I really have to make a few more for her. She just absolutely loves wearing them. They're really great for bad hair days as well. Just saying. Although that's not going to help me now that the weather's warmed up. But anyway, for all of you heading into winter, you know, hats are great for that. As I'm sure you know. Okay, so yet another whip to show you. I began this a long time ago, so you might remember seeing it. It was intended as a gift for a friend who was having a baby, and I didn't get it finished in time, and said baby grew too quickly for this item to be worn. And yeah, so I still have it, and it's still not finished. But I have another friend expecting a baby, thank goodness for that. And it's believed she's having a girl. It's not 100%, but they think they're having a girl. So this might work very well as a little gift. It's the scooter vest, which is a design of mine. All I have to do, like seriously, why is it taking me this long? All I have to do is the sleeve edging. So what happens with this design is you pop buttons at the shoulders and it buttons up like that, and then you work the sleeve edging. That's how you join it, with the sleeve edging, and then there's a little button detail. So this is made with just one ball of colour changing sock yarn from Bendigo Woolen Mills. I can't remember what colourway this is, but it will be on my project page. It works really nice with a gradient, as you can see. It's such a cute little pattern, and perfect for little bubbers. So I'm thinking, hopefully, if Sina ends up having a girl, this will be for her little bubber. So yeah, hopefully I'll have that finished very shortly. I can't let another baby girl grow too big for this item. Seriously, it's getting embarrassing. We've all done that, haven't we? Don't judge me. And speaking of my friend Sina, I'm making a blanket for her as well. So this is just a stitch I got out of a stitch dictionary of mine. It uses 3 colours, and you alternate between the 3, clearly, because that's what you do with stripes. But the great thing about this is that because it's 3, hang on, I'll just show you that. You can see where I've carried the yarns up the edge, so that you don't end up with 27 million ends. I had toyed with the idea of finishing each colour at the end of each row and creating a tassel or a fringe, but I'm not sure if I wasn't sure if I had enough yarn for that, because I'm just using some colours from Stash. I really love this combo of colours. It's really I don't know, is it tropical themed? I don't know, but anyway, I quite liked it. And yeah, so I'll work out how much once I get it to the size I want. It's just going to be the size for like a pram blanket. And then if I've got enough left over, I might put a fringe on it. I'm also waiting to find out what gender the baby ends up before doing the edging. Because if it's a little girl, I might make it a little lacier or something like that. I don't really know. But I'll finish the body of the blanket and then wait till Bub arrives and then decide how to finish it off. So stay tuned for how that ends up. So it's decent size already. I'm probably a bit over halfway. I want it to be about 32 inches long, 30 by 30 roughly. It's just a nice size for popping over Bubby in their pram or stroller, so that it doesn't hang too far down and get in the way. And Bendigo Wool and Mills cotton is so great for baby blankets because you can chuck them in the wash and you don't have to, you know, be super duper gentle. Just easy for mum, you know, because first baby, it's going to be a steep learning curve. So you want to make it as easy for mums as possible. And what else have I got? Oh my goodness, I'm still going with the whips. Clearly I am not a monogamous crocheter. Clearly, you knew that already. You've been here before. I am creating a few new samples for a few older designs. This one, the first one I'm going to show you is this. This is the 90 degrees hat. Have I shown you this before? I don't think I have. I don't think so. Anyway, I'll show you again anyway. So that's the colour combo I've chosen. As you can see, it's brioche. So this is, if you've not seen this pattern before, creates a reversible hat. So you can have either this side facing out, or once it's finished, because you create a cool little drawstring at the top, or you can wear it inside out, because it's a double brim, so it makes a beautiful squishy, soft brim, which would help if you could see. Yep. And then you can turn it inside out and show the horizontal stripes, if you want. But it makes a lovely thick fabric, so it's really, really warm, even though it's just a fingering weight hat. Yeah, so perfect for winter. Next winter. Yet again. So that one's going to be for Piper. So I'm going to want to take some new photos for that pattern with that sample. And then this one I showed you in the last episode, and I'm almost done. I have only, I've nearly finished the final row. I didn't realise I was quite that close. This is my new Montville sample. So when I showed you last time, I was still working on the body. So you can see how far I got with that ball and the colour changes. I love how they turned out almost solid and like nice large sections of colour. I was really happy with that. And then I've just added, it's going to be pretty hard to see in the video I think, but it's the edging on it is using the undyed black 100% alpaca from Addydae Mills, and it's making a really nice lacy ruffled, it's not showing you very well, edging on the bottom, which is not showing. My camera stopped recording. It automatically stops, I think, every half an hour. So what I was showing you was the edging. Come on camera, stop looking at my eyes. It's really hard to show you the edging in the black on video, and especially that it hasn't been blocked yet either. But I am so close to finishing that, so that will soon be an FO, and that's going to be photographed too for some updated photos to the Montville design, which will be really good as well. So I think that's it. I have a few other pieces that are in the works, but I won't show you them yet. I want to have a bit more of them done, and they're 4 new designs. But yeah, I have been doing a lot. I'm just checking my list to make sure I showed you everything. Oh no, I didn't. I have one more. This is in my gorgeous bag that my friend Anne, who is One More Row, made and gifted me. Now this is for a new design as well. It's only small, but it is going to be, clearly it's going to be a shawl. I'm just accidentally pulling it apart as I'm showing it to you, so I'm trying to get it untangled. It's going to be a triangle, sort of, well, it's sort of asymmetrical, but between an asymmetrical and a perfect triangle. Does that make any sense at all? It's not going to be super deep, but it's not going to be super shallow either. Because as much as I love asymmetrical shawls, when they're too shallow and they go for too long, I find them hard to wear. I don't know what it is. But I also am not really into the very deep V triangle shawls. That's just me. But anyway, so that's the plan for this one. And if you can see, or you can see against my top, there's little eyelet patterning on the bottom and beads. So it's super duper simple. The beads are optional, so they won't be absolutely necessary in the pattern if you feel they're too much to add. This is looking all the same colour at the moment, but this last little bit is actually with a new colour. It's using, that doesn't make any sense to you yet, it's using a gradient set. Hang on, there's some more balls to it. Wait a second, where does this one go? Well, that's most of it. No, there's another one. Oh, there we go, okay. Clearly I cannot juggle. Oh my goodness. How to make this look awkward. There you go, there's the... oh, epic fail there. They're the colours, and there was one lighter than this one at my pinky, which started it, and I've just started the second colour. So it's going to gradually get darker using this gradient set. And this is a set that is a total of 200 grams. So it'll be a 2-skein shawl if you want to just make it all in the one colour. I did actually start, see, another whip. A whip hiding in the bag with the other one. This is the larger sample that I started with. Again, you can see I double-stranded it with some more mohair, and I ran out of the mohair. I thought I would have enough, or I thought the shawl would be big enough by the time I ran out, and I didn't. And I haven't been able to source the same colour yet, probably because it's heading into the hot months here in Australia, and no one in Australia is stocking it at the moment. I'm not too worried about it being a different dye lot, because it's double-stranded, and being the mohair, it's such a fine strand. I don't think a change in dye lot is going to make a big difference, so I'm not really worried. But you can, can I fit it in the camera? Here we go. So you can see in the light there, I'm trying to hold it up. So you can see the eyelets. Again, this one isn't blocked, and the eyelet sections gradually get bigger and bigger. That's the plan for the design. So yeah, again, it's got beads on the end. You can see those, just for a bit of bling, but they're optional. So that is a pattern that is almost ready. I've written it all up except for the very last section, and as soon as that is done, I'm going to get that off to my tech editor and out to testers. But my dilemma at the moment is I have another design that is this close to being ready. It's another shawl design, and I'm thinking of doing a mystery crochet along with this, not this design, with the other one that obviously I can't show you because that would spoil the mystery. Tell me what you think. Put in the comments below what you think of the idea of another mystery crochet along. I did one a couple of years ago with the 3 spring shawl, and it was super well received, and I was really excited about that. But yeah, tell me what you think. It's going to be a 3 skein shawl with 3 different colours, and leading up to it, if that's what you reckon we should do, leading up with it, I will give tips on making colour choices that will suit the end design, because I know it's risky. I'm not, I'll admit, I'm not big on the whole idea of a thing being a complete mystery, because I like to know how my colours are going to go together, but I won't make it overly complicated. It's quite a, well, it's not a complicated design, and I'll help you out is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I thought virtually all of us have got those individual skeins. You know, we can't help buying them. We just can't. As much as I would like to purchase all my yarn in sweater quantities, you know, just in case I decide to make a big garment with it, we all get taken in by that pretty skein and end up with a whole heap of single skeins in our stash that aren't really useful on their own. So this design was sort of born from that idea that we've got individual skeins in our stash, and 3 colours to put together isn't too difficult. You know, if you're talking about putting 5 colours together, that can be a bit trickier because we don't always have that many that coordinate together. So my idea is that generally within a lot of people's stash, you can have 3 skeins that will coordinate and should work quite well with this design. That's my plan. If you trust me, let me know that you trust me enough to do it as a mystery crochet along, and that's how I'll set it up. Okay, so you'll let me know in the comments below what you think of the idea of a mystery crochet along, and if you like that idea, I'll set it up so early in the new year we'll do a mystery crochet along together, because I think it'd be really fun. And my samples, I've done 2, and it's using yarn from the Australian Wool Store. So it's a collaboration between Catherine and I, and we talked about it, and she said that she likes the idea of a mystery crochet along, but you guys let me know what you think, and we'll see how we go from there. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun. It'll be fun. Do you trust me? That's the question. Okay, so I think I have talked for long enough. Thank you guys for bearing with me and for coming back. If you're a returning viewer, I really, really appreciate it. As I said, I've really missed catching up with you. And you know what I will do, seeing that you have come back and been an awesome loyal viewer, for everyone that has watched to the end here, I'm going to set up a discount on Ravelry because of the fact that I've been absent for so long. So for all my loyal viewers who have turned up here, if you use the code, and I'm checking what I've got written down because I don't want to mess this up, if you use the code VIDEOBLOG34, I will give you a 34% discount on any Addydae designs purchased from my Ravelry store for a whole week from when this video is published on YouTube. How about that? Okay, so I'll put the code down below so you can see it as well. VideoBlog34 will get you 34% off any Addydae Designs pattern purchase for the next week for my awesome loyal viewers. Just to say a big fat thank you for hanging around and popping back in to see me after so long and not forgetting about me like Imogen said. She said, I'm sure they've forgotten about you, Mum. So there you go. So on that note, I thought I was going to leave. I've got some stash to show you. Hang on, I'm not done yet. I got these from Skein Sisters, so this is a little final little bit for you. On a recent visit to Sydney, I was able to snavel my very first skein of Julie Asselin yarn. I'm sorry, the light is not quite showing this colour properly, but this is the colourway Paprika. So it's a little cooler than it's showing up in the video, but it is beautiful and I cannot wait to try it. It is 90% superwash merino, 10% silk. I've been wanting to try Julie's yarns for ages, so I finally got a skein of that to try. I have no idea what I'm going to make out of it. I'm picturing a hat. It's got mohair on it from my other projects. I'm picturing a hat, but I'm not sure. But it's just, Julie just nails the semi-solids, like the tonals, don't you think? Isn't that gorgeous? Love it. And I also was so excited because just purely by accident, the weekend that we happened to be in Sydney for my visit, Skein Sisters apparently got a massive influx of stock. So the store was packed. So I had the choice of everything there. It was great because I also wanted to try some spin cycle yarns. Hang on. Let me just, so you can get the whole effect. Ugh, nearly dropped it. Look at that. Oh. I've been wanting to try spin cycle for ages, and the great thing about this is because every other time I've seen it here in Australia, it's been the heavier weight, like the worsted weight, which I don't use that often, but this is the sport weight. This one's called Rusted Rainbow, and it's 200 yards, so it's a little bit on the heavyish side. Well, I mean, it looks like a fingering weight, like it's not chunky. Other sport weights I've used are heavier than this, so I'm hoping to pair it with some other fingering weight, because what I would like to do is some colour work. And this is some Piri yarn from, I should know this, Brooklyn Tweed, another yarn I haven't tried before that have wanted to, and I thought that they would make an amazing contrast. So I just bought the one skein of the Piri just to see how it looked contrast. It's just going to be a fairly simple colour work. I'm thinking yoke, cardi, maybe. We'll see how it goes. I'm not making any promises. But I have something in mind, in my head, and I think it would be beautiful. And being a yarn that changes colour automatically, a lot of the hard work is done for you. So I want to make it as simple as possible, because I know not everyone's really confident. You know, you've probably all seen them, the beautiful colour work sweaters that people make with a lot of different colour changes, and it can be quite overwhelming and tricky deciding which colour to put where, and that can put a lot of people off. So that's why I thought I would try some spin cycle, because it changes for you, and so that part of it, that is the guesswork is taken out. It'll change for you, but you already know that the colours will work together. That's my plan. So we'll see how that goes. So they were some buys I was very excited about on my last visit. Just words now. I'm having trouble. It must be time to stop. My last visit to Skein Sisters. And then the other thing I want to show you, this was actually a gift from a friend of mine. Are these like the cutest scissors you've ever seen? Aren't they adorable? They've got this little cover, so it protects your end. And they're just teeny weeny. The tip is just minuscule. But I love them. Thank you, Christine. They're gorgeous. From my crafty friend. They make the best gifts, don't they? Or they know how to pick the best gifts. Now I think that really is it. So I really am going to go. Thanks for hanging around, guys. Don't forget that code, okay? It is videoblog34, 30% off. 30? I'm even getting my own details wrong. Videoblog34 for 34% off. That's hard to say. Off any Addydae designs purchase from my Ravelry store for 1 week after this video goes live. Okay, you guys. Thanks so much for hanging around. It's really good to catch up with you. Let me know what you think about the mystery crochet along idea, and I will get that sorted for you. All right, thanks guys. Hope you're enjoying your crafting. Bye, see you next time. Hey guys, this is later me popping in again because I forgot to tell you about something. Remember when I said I didn't have my bantam wrap sample to show you? This is why. I was going to tell you why, wasn't I? What happened was, back in September, I attended the Fibre with Friends retreat at One Tree Hill Farm with Blackwall Yarn that was organised by Angela. It was nothing short of amazing. It was a fantastic weekend. We had so much fun. I was teaching just on the Saturday, so I got to just hang out and have fun on the Sunday, which was really, really good. The food was amazing, the company was amazing, everything was amazing. It was so good. Seriously, if you get an opportunity to go to the next one, jump at it. We had so much fun. And at this one, there was a special guest. Stephen Berg from Stephen B Studios was the guest attendee. So I knew who was going to be there, found out a bit before, but he took my class. I nearly died. He walked in, came and introduced himself, gave me a big hug, said, "Hi, I'm Stephen. Can I join your class this morning?" It was like, okay. I was really, really nervous, but he was absolutely lovely, an absolute pleasure. He was super friendly, very generous, and lovely to spend some time with. Anyway, so I'm finally getting to it. So yeah, he took my brioche class, and through talking throughout the weekend, because everyone's just sort of hanging out in and out of classes and stuff like that for the whole weekend, he ended up taking my Bantam sample back with him to his store in Minnesota. So currently I have a Bantam wrap made from Dingo Dyeworks yarn hanging up in his Minnesota store. So how cool is that? I was quite chuffed that he wanted to take it with him as a sample. So there. So if you're local to that store, you can go and see it in the flesh. So there you go. That's where it is. What I'm going to do also is at the end of the video here, I'm going to post some photos from the retreat because we did have such a good time, and I want to share those with you. So I'm really going now, okay? I don't think there's anything else I've forgotten. Take care, everyone. Bye again. Yes, I am.
Good, because I'm hungry. So I'm just going to grab some food and you can continue with the intro problems.
Yes, I am having intro problems.
I'm
Take
not
number
hearing
4.
everything I'm saying.
Well, if I leave it recorded, can you go away, please?
Hi!
Yep.
I'm in pajamas and I do not care.
Okay. Bye-bye now.
Just thought the world should know that. And I'm not leaving yet, I'm still getting food.
Okay, I'm recording. I'm recording now. Be quiet, please. Okay. I'm in it.
Okay, we're still gonna get food, so...
Imogen.
Sorry.
Alrighty, here we go. Take 4.